Heyo, Jess Reynolds here. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, it's nice to meet you. After a long day of helping others, it's super important for us as manual therapists to take a moment for ourselves. So in this video, I'm going to be guiding you through a stretching and relaxation routine that's perfect for the end of your workday. This routine, which is featured in my Self-care and Burnout Prevention course, is designed to help you unwind and care for your own well-being. And the good news is, you can access the entire course for free by clicking the link in the description. The course is not only free, but it also offers 1 CE hour and a certificate of completion. So let's ease into this relaxation routine together and give our bodies the care they deserve after a long day's work. So, it's the end of the day. You've done as many treatments as you've done. Now you need to take a few minutes to take care of yourself. The first thing I always like to do is start by just doing some simple stretches. Some of these are the same things that we did at the start of the day, but I'm going to be a little bit more gentle with myself, and I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on my breath. At the start of the day, I'm not too concerned about that. It's just get the body ready, really amp it up, contract, strengthen. Now it's to chill out and relax. So while we did the start of the day routine in a standing position, I'm going to do this one down on the ground. Now, if you can't get down on the ground comfortably on a yoga mat like this, just adapt as much as you possibly can. Maybe you can do these sitting in a chair, or maybe you do them up against a wall. But I would encourage you to get yourself to the point where you can have the mobility to get down onto the mat. So first thing I'm going to work on is those flexors and extensors. Just going to go down nice and easy like this. Now once I'm on the mat, I'm going to stretch out my flexors first. I'm just going to put my hands in front of me like this, and then move into this slight extension. I'm just rocking back and forth. And maybe you don't feel this stretch because you have been in wrist extension all day, I know. We don't want to put any pressure. I'm not leaning into my wrists. I'm being very gentle with it. So maybe if you don't feel the stretch, that's fine. You bring your hands like this, and you can lower your body down into this position. And for myself, I feel quite a strong stretch in my forearms, and I just lean back. And now I take another deep breath. I want to just hang out in this position for a second or two, really focusing on my breath. And instead of going for time, I'm usually going to do 3 deep breaths in this position. Now once you've done that, I usually move out. And in between each of my stretches, I like to just give my hands and arms a shake. They're already feeling a little bit tired. I know after this I'm going to be doing some contrast therapy, going from hot to cold. But right now I just need a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a shake. So now I'm going to do those extensors. Now very nice and easy. You'll just roll onto your wrists like that. I don't want you to put your body weight into it. You're not resting into them. You're just nice and easy rolling in and then rolling out. You might not feel the stretch, and that's okay. If you don't feel the stretch, don't do it. And if you feel any pressure in the wrist, don't do it. Good. I'll only do a couple of those, and again, I'm going to stretch it out, rather shake it out. All right, so the next thing that I do, and it doesn't matter how you sit. You could sit on your feet like this. You could sit cross-legged. It doesn't matter how you're going to sit. But I'm going to sit in this position. Now I'm going to move into my neck. So with my neck, I'm going to do some lateral flexion, and I'll just take this hand and very gently pull my head towards my ear. And again, I'll hang out here for a couple breaths. And this hand, I'll let it relax. Sometimes what I'll do with this hand is I'll try and pull it down to the ground to increase that stretch. Sometimes I'll move my head into flexion and extension, really playing around with that stretch position. And then I'm going to move over to the other side and do the same thing. Remember, it is about the breath. We're really trying to just take a hold of that parasympathetic nervous system. And you can use this as that end of the day ritual, right? If you don't have one of those, start making one. It can be hard. It can be hard to listen to your clients talk to you about their pain and their complaints all day. And maybe they don't have any pain, but they're on their table and they tell you about their life. And maybe it's good things, maybe it's bad things, but really it can be challenging to not take this on. So at the end of the day, it is important that you develop some sort of routine or ritual to just shake it off, let it go. And for myself, this is kind of part of it. I do my stretches. And I can do the same thing in flexion. And again, I'd hold it for a few breaths, and I could go into extension. I don't usually go into extension, though. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is going to move into my lower body and my hips. So with the hips, and again, this may not be accessible to you, and if it's not, then I'll show you a few possible modifications. I'm just going to sit down with my legs out in front of me, just like this. So maybe you're starting to feel a stretch in your hamstrings, no problem. You just bend those knees, get into this position any way you can, and try and keep that back straight as much as you can. So in this position with my hips, the first thing I'm going to do is take this leg and try and bring it over the other one. Now maybe this is as far as you get, but maybe you can bring that other leg up above your knee, and if that's the case, wonderful. And then I just take my hands and I pull that hip towards me. I feel a nice strong stretch here in that glute max. I'll hold it for a couple breaths. This is when I'm kind of just letting go of the day. Then we could bring it over to the other leg, just like so, right? And if you can't bring it above your knee, no problem. Maybe you bring it here, that's fine. And we just try and pull it towards you and get a stretch in that hip. Maybe you don't, maybe you get a pinch here in the front of your hip, and that's fine. You don't need to do it. You don't need to push through any of these exercises. Pick and choose which ones you like, right? Good, and again, another couple breaths. That's all I'm going to do for my hips. Now I'm going to move into those hamstrings. So for the hamstrings, what I like to do, so I'll sit on my mat or on the floor, and I'll just open my legs up like this. And again, maybe you can't do so. Maybe your legs are up a little bit further. That's fine. And then from here, I'll just lean forward as far as you can go comfortable. Now, you don't have to get your elbows on the ground or forehead or any of these things you see in yoga posts on social media. Just move far forward as you can. Maybe you feel it in the adductors. Maybe you feel it in the hamstrings. You just play around, right? Like as I move this way, I feel adductors here and hamstrings here. I'll take a breath. Or maybe I do want to stay in the middle and I feel it more so in the adductors. What I'm really trying to say here through all of this is just take a few minutes at the end of the day and stretch your body out with some nice deep breaths. You'd be surprised what happens when you take just 5 minutes. Again, that's all it takes, just 5 minutes to quickly take yourself through this movement, through this stretching routine. Again, you don't have to sit cross-legged. I just like to sit in this position. I'll usually do a little bit of rocking back and forth. Again, not much, not spending a whole bunch of time. Shake my body off, and that's it. And then I get up and I go about my life. I go about my day. I'm not spending all my hours trying to do all this self-care routine. We have to be realistic here. We have to keep in mind you've got a busy life. But part of the things we could do, as you know, to make sure that we can sustain that life in a way that's healthy for us, we can make sure that we can be our best for our clients, just take a bit of time for yourself. 5-10 minutes at the start of the day, 5-10 minutes at the end of the day. This is one of the best things we can do for longevity. All right, so thanks for joining me in this post-work routine. I really hope that these steps bring you the calm and relaxation that you deserve at the end of your day. Remember, there's much more where this came from in Self-care and Burnout Prevention course. You can explore the entire course for free by clicking the link in the description below. For more tips on self-care and how to build a practice you love and the skills to sustain it, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Rest well and take care of yourself as you do for others.